Just a quick introduction. I'm Ritab, working as a senior data cloud architect. I've been here for almost 2 years. And what are we going to do today? So the last topic was all about how you build a knowledge graph, right? And here in Snowflake, we have taken it to the next level. We have started solving customer problems by building a knowledge graph by using LLMs all within Snowflake. Now, for me to dive into the use case, it makes sense for me to take a tour of our platform first, because a lot of other players are doing it in many different ways, solving maybe similar problems all around the industry in different other platforms and different tools and technologies, but then we do it differently. And to understand how do we do it differently, it is very, very important for you to understand our platform first. All right. So before we start our platform journey, this is how we have shaped our next 30 minutes or so. First, we will take a tour of Snowflake, the data cloud. Second, we will look at what are the features that enables GenAI on Snowflake. Then we'll straight away dive into the use case. We'll solve the customer problem, a real life use case. And finally, we'll look at the solution architecture. Now, at the end, there's a quick demo. I'm not really sure whether the 30 minutes that I have been given, will that be enough for me to run you through the demo or not, but I'll try my best to fast forward the demo and run it through. Right. So here is a quick picture of Snowflake, the data cloud, right? So I hope the fonts are visible from the back, right? Okay. So the philosophy behind the data cloud is all about one single platform, right? So the way we look at the data cloud is one single platform wherein you can come and fulfill all your data requirements as a customer, or maybe as an user. So at the lower half of it, we talk about the different data architectural patterns that you can build on Snowflake. To start with, you have your data warehouses, the very old data warehouses, data lakes. Now, while they take care of your analytical requirements, there's another workload which is brand new to Snowflake, maybe launched in the last 6 months or 1 year. That's Unistore. Now, Unistore takes care of your transactional requirements as well. So now you have one platform that takes care both of your analytical requirements and transactional requirements together, right? So that's the beauty of the data cloud. You don't have to run from one technology to the other to fulfill multiple different requirements as an analyst or as a business user. Then comes data engineering. For any data ecosystem to survive, data engineering is the heart of it, right? So there we are. I'm not going to dive much into data engineering because all the data folks out here must be aware of what data engineering is all about and what are the different offerings that are possibly there in the industry, because it's there for almost 15-20 years right now. Let's move on to AI and ML. Now, Snowflake is a platform is not only focusing on data engineering, because we want to give our customers a space wherein they can come and generate insights. They can use this very platform to build not only your classic ML applications, but today the platform is well equipped to serve your requirements for your GenAI use cases. And that's what the use case for today. We are going to focus on GenAI. Next, what do you do once you build your insights, right? You have your insights, you have to circulate or you have to socialize those insights. The best way to socialize those insights that you build on your AI ML platform is to build an application and share it with your business users. So in Snowflake, you can build applications all using Snowflake technologies, and as a developer, you will not have to look beyond the platform and look at technologies that are not, you might require some technologies that might you need for building applications, but that's not the scenario anymore. All your instruments of building an application and distributing an application is available all within our platform. The last one, cybersecurity, because you are saying that you are a platform. A platform doesn't hold the entire, in totality, if you are not addressing the cybersecurity requirements. So now, as a cybersecurity analyst, you can bring all your cybersecurity data all within Snowflake, use it for all your data crunching and whatever the analysis that you want to do, all within Snowflake, right? We're done with the workloads. We'll look at the the next periphery, which is the blue circle you see. So at the bottom of it, there are two words for those of you who cannot see: governed collaboration. I would like to focus on the word governed, because if you are a platform, you need governance tools and controls to manage your data, right? And in Snowflake, you have state-of-the-art governance instruments which can help you build your catalog, build your lineage, do your RBAC, and everything all within Snowflake. Next, the word collaboration. Now, this is something which we do best because we have state-of-the-art data sharing mechanism. You can share your data with your customers without doing any ETL, and that's what the collaboration means. We'll move over to marketplace. Now, the next level of collaboration is your marketplace, because we have onboarded hundreds of data providers on our platform today who can share their data and monetize from our marketplace. And the marketplace is not limited to data alone. You as a application provider can build applications, and you can share that with your consumers straight away from Snowflake, the data cloud, from your marketplace, right? So marketplace is a great offering for all the data providers and application providers who want to monetize from their offerings, right? And the dots that you see all around the box, the circle, they talk about the network effect. The network effect is so very important, because if you are used to that network effect, if you are a customer who is in the network, in this particular platform, in this zone, you have access to any other Snowflake users. How do you access it? You access it through the marketplace. So if you are a part of this family, it's like the network effect. It's very, very addictive. You can't get out of it, right? It's time for us to talk about the platform features that offers, that makes GenAI so successful. Now over here, if you see, we have categorized into three categories. The first is use AI in seconds, because today the buzzword AI, it's not limited to only the tech geeks in the room, right? If you are a data scientist, if you are an AI engineer, maybe it's easy, it excites you to do more with AI. But how about a business user? A business user cannot download an LLM from some community, host it, build applications around it, and then generate insights. It's not that easy for him to do. So that is why AI in seconds within the platform makes it super easy for business users to leverage the benefits of AI. We'll focus on these three boxes. The first is document AI. What is document AI? If you have PDFs, if you have images, we have algorithms that can dive deep into those information and give you facts. What is universal search? Within Snowflake, if you create an object, we create a catalog right away. If you create an object right now, maybe in another minute or two, it will be available for you to search, and that's a catalog you don't have to build anymore. The last one, Snowflake's Copilot. This is one of the state-of-the-art offering wherein you can go and talk to your Snowflake using natural language to generate a SQL for you. Now, Copilot is continuously evolving. Today, we are limited to SQL. However, in the next 3 months or 6 months, programming languages like Scala and Python will also be supported by Copilot. All these features, now Streamlit, I'm not going to focus on Streamlit because I'm sure people in the room somewhere or the other might have used Streamlit. The Streamlit has been recently acquired by Snowflake, and you can create Streamlit applications all within Snowflake without the requirement of another virtual machine. Now all these features are supported by Snowflake Cortex. What is Cortex? I'm going to deep dive in the next slide. On the right hand side, you have LLMs in hours, which is the fully custom mechanism, right? Now, As a tech geek, you might think that, hey, this is okay for the business users, but this is not for me. I would download a model, play around with the model parameters. I want to fine tune it. I want to create a RAG out of it all on my own. I don't like the way Snowflake does it. Maybe it's doing good, but I feel I can do better. How do I do that? That's where Snowflake Container Services comes into the picture, because Snowflake can help you to create a container all within the boundaries of Snowflake, governed by the Snowflake ecosystem, and you can fine tune your LLMs, you can bring partner LLMs, you can even create your own LLMs, right? So with that, we'll move on to the, we'll start double clicking on Snowflake Cortex and Snowflake Container Services. Okay, what is Cortex? Cortex again is something for a business user who's not that tech savvy. So what have we done? We have got some commercial LLMs and we have put them together to be used as a SQL function all within Snowflake. So you can go to Snowflake, you can talk to commercial LLMs of your choice. Now definitely the list is limited today. We are limited to 4 or 5 today. The list is ever expanding. I'll show you what are the different models that we support today. But you can talk to those LLMs as a SQL function. Now imagine if this Cortex function would not have been possible, the business users in the room, they would have all been dependent on your data scientist and AI engineering team, and the backlog grows. They need something, and by the time they get the output after 6 months, because the AI engineers in the room will have to download a model, host it, manage the infrastructure behind it, create an API around it. It takes 3 to 4 months. And by the time the deliverables are ready for the business users to consume, the world has moved on from a lot from one place to the other. So now in Cortex we have again 2 categories. One is Cortex ML, which talks about we have functions to support classic ML, and then we have Cortex LLMs, which are for the LLM functionalities, right? Right. So today this is where the offerings on Cortex stand. So we have large models, we have medium models, we have small models. The blue ones are the ones that we support, and the indicative performance matrices are also mentioned over there, right? Now this is maybe a picture which was taken a week ago, and I'm sure we have moved on from here, and it's like it's a continuously evolving platform, and by the time we hit summit back in June, I'm sure there will be much more in the list on the x-axis. Before we move on to discussing the use case, I think we should look at container services, because this is the brain behind of the custom offering. Because today if you want to download an LLM, a commercial LLM, host it, fine tune it, process it, create APIs around it, create an actionable and create some UIs around it, how do you do it? All within Snowflake Container Services. And the beauty is Container Services offers you 2 types of computes today, because working with LLM is not that easy. People will always look for GPUs, CPUs are not enough. So we have powered Container Services with NVIDIA GPUs. You can choose what kind of compute that you want to use all within Snowflake. Right. I think it's time for us to take a look at the use case. Right. We'll start from the right. So in a typical insurance industry, there are a few common questions that any a call center manager or a call center management guy is interested about. If you look at the right side, he wants the efficiency of an agent who's taking calls hours after hours. He wants a transcript of all your calls, right? You have your transcription, so all your calls are recorded, right? The moment you hit an IVR, they say your call will be recorded, and how do you store that? They're all audio files. You can't browse through all the audio files when you need. You can't extract information from the audio files. So for that you need to transcript it. Third one is call diarization. The transcripts has to be stored. The fourth one is call intent. The fifth one is first call resolution. You definitely want to find out as a call center manager how many of the calls that were, your customers dialed in for the entire day were resolved on the very first call. Now these are, and lastly, the customer sentiment analysis. This is so very important, that how did the customer react after the call went? Was the customer happy? Was the customer, arguing, or the customer was super unhappy and said that, hey, I'm going to leave your service and go away and I'm going to find out another insurer? Now these questions are very, very common, and when we start talking to our customers, they can resonate to this day in and day out, because this is a very, very common problem that we have been they wanted to solve at least for last couple of years. How did we respond to that use case? How did we respond to that problem? The solution is on the left hand side. So what we did is we started collecting the calls, the call files, the audio files, and we ran it through open source Whisper model. And this Whisper model, for those of you who don't know, it can create transcriptions of your audio. What it does is it is not an offering on Cortex today. So because it is not offered on Cortex, we had to create a custom LLM. How did we do it? We ran it through SPCS. SPCS stands for Snowflake Container Services, right? Snowpark Container Services, and we used those call files to create a transcript with Whisper model. Now at the bottom of it, you see the structured data. That is something which is enterprise data, right? That is something, your claims and policy information, that is there all within the enterprise. Now, how did we solve it? We used Streamlit, Cortex, and SPCS together to, merge the unstructured data that we have got over here with your structured data and try to solve the problem. How did we do it is in the next slide. Here is the solution architecture. How did we go about solving this problem? The first part was to collect the audio files. We collected the audio files and we ran it through this SPCS, the Whisper model that is hosted in SPCS, and we tried to store the result of the transcripts. Where did we store it? We stored it in our very own platform, the Snowflake. What next? Now that we have got the transcripts, the next is use Snowpark, which is again nothing to do with Spark. It's a very Spark familiar platform. We used some libraries called Snowpark. It's like, for all the Spark developers in the room, don't think it is another Spark engine on Snowpark. No, it is not. It's very different, but that's a talk for a different day. So we used Snowpark and we added a custom prompt to it. And finally, what we arrived at is we got some tabular data. So the transcript, so we applied some custom prompts, and from the transcript that we have got from the audio files, we generated tabular data. And then what we did, this tabular data we vectorize and we store it in our own vector data types, because today we don't have to go outside of Snowflake on some other technical platforms wherein they have a vector DB offering, but within Snowflake itself you can store those vectors. That's where the RAG comes in. That's what Jim was talking about. But yeah, we'll come to that. What's next? The next is we created a RAG for the business users or the business managers to go and talk to the LLM and find out information more about what went on during the day. How did their agents respond to our customers? The next part is, what if you don't want to, you're not happy with just a bunch of text that the LLM is going to respond to you? What if you need more facts? That's where the text to SQL comes in. So we took another open source model and we fine-tuned it to talk to this particular, the data set. Now, how did we fine-tune? Based on the customer experiences, we told the customer that, hey customer, you know the kind of SQL that your business users generally fire. Give us that bulk. We fine-tuned that based on the customer provided SQLs, and the model started responding really, really good. Finally, we have built an application around it. So what is the application doing? The application has two parts. First is, application has a chatbot which your business users can use to talk to your LLMs or talk to your RAG, get more insights about the conversation. The chatbot has angle wherein the chatbot can help you talk to this information in a SQL friendly way. You can pass natural language questions and this particular chatbot is going to help you generate a SQL and give you perfect answers or maybe near perfect answers. This is something which is done, and how much time do I have? Yeah, I do have some time. And this is a very high level steps of what we have done, whatever I've just spoken about. The first is transcribe speech to text. The audio files are all stored as text. Number 2, extract the details in a structured format. Number 3, the structured format that you have got, vectorize that and store it for your vector search. Number 4 is fine-tune your LLM so that your LLM can understand the natural language questions that will be asked to this particular bot so that it can generate the right SQL to give you information from that huge information store which is created throughout the day or maybe throughout the month. And finally, we have the chatbot. So this is what we have built. This is live in action in some of the customer flows, which definitely for confidentiality reasons I cannot disclose, but this is a live use case of LLMs. And it's time for a demo. I have a very quick video. I'm going to play it for you. And yep. I'm not really sure how much it is visible. If I do a full screen, can we do something with the font? I'm sure it is not visible at the back, right? Anyway, I'll try to talk it through as we progress. So we have named it a customer insight analyzer. It's built on Streamlit, and this application is running on containers within Snowflake, right? Now, what is it highlighting at this moment? It is just highlighting that 5 high-level steps that we just walked through in the last slide of the presentation, and there's nothing much of an insight out here, right? This one. Now, at the end of the day, your call center manager might be interested about a holistic view about how did the day go. What are my unique topics based on which I have received calls? Unique call intents. Your total calls by the mode of update, the final call resolution status. Now, this is something which is, it's like, a holistic view about how the entire thing went on. Now, what is it doing is, once you have a holistic view about how the day went on, you can choose the audio file based on which you want to drive more information. So here I'm choosing an audio file and I'm going to summarize the audio. Here is the text which the Whisper model created, and here is the transcript for that audio file. Second is get audio. Now that entire transcript has been broken down into structured information. And you can see, I don't know how much is visible from there, you can see information like your policy number, you can see information like your call intent, you can see information like your call to action. Okay. Then it's time to click the claim info. At this point of time, what it is doing is, whatever the claim number and the claim information that it has got from the transcript, it is joining back to its enterprise database, which is your claim information and which is your policy information. And you got all the information back from your enterprise data. This is something which is very, very interesting, because at this point of time you can understand the average handle time, that's what it talks about, and the sentiment count. So at the end of the day, you can all find out that how was your sentiment distributed throughout the day. And finally comes the chatbot. Now this chatbot, it uses the RAG in the background. So what it is doing is, it gives you some of the sample questions. Now I'm sure you cannot read some of the sample questions, so just to read it for you. Give me the details of agent quinine where the sentiment is negative in the month of December 2023. Now if that is a question, the chatbot was able to find out the information from the repository using the RAG, and it's there before you. Right? There are a few more example questions which I'm sure you cannot read it over there, like which is the call sentiment negative for the conversation for a given policy number which happened on a particular date. So you see, I'm not only going to a policy, I'm even going at a date level, and it was able to give me a near perfect answer. Right? I think I'll move on to the next one, which is the text to SQL. Right? Now here, a very similar kind of experience, but then once you ask a question, it is going to give you a SQL, and it is going to show you the SQL that it generated and show you the output as well. It's thinking, and it was able to generate a SQL, and it is giving the right output for you. For the rest of the video, it is just going to try out all the sample questions which are out here, and it is going to execute for you and show you the results. There we are. I don't think I have anything else, and yep. So this is something which is live, and feel free to reach us at the booth, and happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.